What?
WIIFTVPN.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at The Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at The Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man, Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
And we need you to like,
comment,
and share
that thing
every Tuesday and Thursday from 1
to 3 p.m. on
What's in It for the Black People Media.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to Black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the Tax Credit Scholarship Program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
Check, 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 check. Oh, please, don't you rock my boat, 'cause I don't want my boat to be right. Oh, please, corner. You make me feel like a sweet steak when I watch out. Can't you see? You must believe me. Oh, darling, darling, I'm calling, calling. Can't you see? Why won't you believe me? Oh, darling, darling, I'm calling, calling. When I meet you around the corner, oh, I said, baby, never let me be alone. 'Cause when you hold me tight, you make me feel alright. Yes, when you hold me tight, you make me feel alright. Can't you see? You must believe me. Oh, darling, darling, I'm calling, calling. Can't you see? Why won't you believe me? Oh, darling, darling, I'm calling, calling. Satisfy my soul. Satisfy my soul. Satisfy my soul. Satisfy my soul. That's all I want you to do. That's all I beg from you. Satisfy my soul.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Mayor Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Lenders give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up the seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Todd, how you feeling this morning?
Oh, man, I'm feeling top of the world, Ma. Top of the world.
What did you top of the world, Ma? What did you say?
It's from the movie White Heat with James Cagney. He was like a psycho killer.
And he said, top of the world, Ma. Top of the world.
He had a fixation with his mother. And at the end of the movie, he's in this like oil refinery, and he's on top of one of those big things with the oil, and he's like, "Top of the world, Ma!" And then it blows up.
So just top of the world, and then boom.
You really have to see the movie. It was the thing back in 1944.
In 44, Todd?
I don't know, somewhere around.
What were you doing? You were watching TV in 44, man.
Well, you know, on Channel 9 when movies were movies. That would be one of those movies that come on every year.
So Channel 9, was that the what was those Family Classics? Was it on Family Classics?
No, when movies were movies. You were probably too young to stay up that late, but it was a late night thing. It was a 10:30 thing.
Ah, okay. Oh, and you got to stay. Yeah, I didn't get to stay up till 10:30.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I couldn't stay up past 10:30 even if I wanted to at certain points because I just.
And this is a 70s thing, so.
James Cagney was still making movies in the 70s?
No, it's black and white.
It's like the afternoon movie too. Like how you used to come home and it'd be the 3:30 movie and then it'd be the late night movie on Channel 7.
Yeah, the 3:30 movie. That's right.
You remember the 3:30 movie?
I do.
You used to come home and then it'd be like King Kong versus Godzilla be on in the afternoon. It'd be in black and white, and then Fahey Flynn and what's his name would come on.
Joel Daly.
Yeah, dang. Fahey Flynn and Joel Daly. Mm-hmm. That just tells you how Irish this state was. I mean, Fahey Flynn. Yeah. I mean, I remember him in black and white actually.
You remember in black? I don't remember.
I do because my grandma. You're straight. Okay, I'm like I get you. If you, it's in that silver.
Ruthie dropped her ring. No,
I was gonna have a joke, but I've been told that I can no longer tell.
No, we'll talk about
jokes. That. I've been joke banned, so I'm not gonna even make that joke. They was like, "That's it." I got the wife was like, "That's the end of that joke. There will be no more joking."
Well, there should be an ending, I guess, at some point.
Yeah, I guess it was fun.
I do like a running joke.
It was fun while it lasted. Now, yeah. I guess we'll have to stick with Rogers.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd, in the building. I'm talking a little smack. I feel like I have failed myself. I failed today.
Oh, dang. Why?
Because I did not hook up Ruthie's headphones. And now I feel like, she's trying to put everything together. She's got it. She's moving around. But alas, my people, Ruthie Moore is officially in the building. She's been in the building. It's just she's been trying to get the whole dig together. And now
Thank you, Madam President Carrie Steele. Good morning.
Good morning, Ruthie Moore. How you feeling this morning?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. All right, good. Well, it's good to see you. What you got? Well, let me stop because here we go. We got a lot going on today. It's so much. Let me do this because first of all, we don't have any printer paper. So if you all are looking for your rundown, it's in your email.
Oh.
We saved a tree today. But rest assured, tomorrow we will be hacking away at the trees because I will be getting it because it's hard to do this with the iPad. And then I feel like you all don't have a blueprint so we're going to be flying. What do they call that? Au natural? What that when you don't got no
clothes on?
Yeah. What's that?
I call it au natural.
Nah, when you flying with no, What do you?
We've done this before.
Yes, but like there like no draws. What's it? What do they call it? Commando.
Oh,
We're going commando today.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna be doing the show commando. Sonia Escobar, how you feeling this morning?
Good morning.
You good? You good?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yep.
Sonia
you
good.
feeling?
Todd good. Ruthie, you good? Well, if everybody's good, let's get this thing up and away. Let's get it to 60,000 feet. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-hosts, and we're all locked in. In case you all missed it, kind of happened yesterday, Todd. I had the two most asked questions yesterday to me. And I'd be like,
why are you so mean? And what was the second one?
Or where's Todd?
It was, where's Todd? Where's Ruthie? Where's Todd? Where's Ruthie? Where's Todd? Where's Ruthie? Yesterday when I got there, though, in case you all don't know this is how much people listen to the show. If you're watching live, you can see I was going to wear the shirt, but they were listening. Ruthie's fan club made Unified to neutralize the external threat.
Shout out to Nicole. I got you one too, Todd.
Is that a
She sent you
jacket?
one.
Yep. Oh. No, it's not a jacket. It's a
That'd
shirt.
be nice.
It's a
For our
shirt.
radio
And so
listeners.
the thing it was dope. Like as soon as we got there, first of all, I must say that I was very proud of the turnout, very proud of the organization, and very proud of the fact that for the most part, everybody stuck to what they said they were going to do, which sometimes is difficult and it creates challenges. I must commend Tyrone Muhammad. First of all, I wouldn't know how many dang trucks this dude got. This dude got his own police station. Real talk. He had like 8 squad cars, about 8 squad cars and SUVs out there. Plus he had, I don't know what that bicycle thing is that he ride, but he came out, he did his thing, support your local weed man. You see that there are bills advancing down in Springfield. Mark Carter came out and talked about the construction industry. You know, he's the new executive director of Black Contractors United.
Yeah.
Really did a very good job of getting the crowd amped. Shout out to Bomani Obadelli as well as LaVon Stone. Von didn't talk. He was in the back keeping people organized. Shout out to Obadelli for putting it down. And then I had a brief word to say, but I will tell you that I was so proud of the What's in It for the Black People family in general. It was a very strong showing yesterday. And when I knew something was up because the police was all out there with the bicycles. A lot of people asked me why we didn't march. I think it was an executive decision based on the number of elder. I mean, it was like a universally mixed crowd, right? Like the elders were there. I mean, it's like older people were there, as well as all of the guys that are trying to do a lot of the violence. It was a good thing. But what was crazy to me is that even though we never said anything negative about anybody else, there was still like a lot of hate. And I think it's interesting to see people be upset with black people advocating for themselves and no one else. Right? And it was interesting to see the response on social, because I mean, we made a concerted effort not to be against anybody.
Right.
And to see that even that was interpreted or shared as hate of someone else was really interesting.
Well, you know, there's a lot of people in the world who think that the world is even and fair.
Yeah, I would think that this hate was coming from members of the Latino community, though. Oh. Right? And it's like, yo,
you mean people who know it's not even fair.
Right, but it's like, I was reading a lot of the comments, and it was, yo, man, there's a thing about, I really feel like when black folks are unifying, you don't get a vote. You don't get to talk. Like, you don't get a say in who gets to reconcile with who, when, why, whatever. And it's like, I find it what did you say, audacity? Was that you who used that one? Mm-hmm. The audacity of anyone to think that they have the ability to regulate black folks and who they. I told you I'm tired of people telling me who I could talk to.
Right.
And it's another thing to have the Latinos coming on my page, some Latinos coming on my page, trying to call me out for being for black people. We said we just want the same thing y'all getting. That's why we can't have no black and brown unity. Really? I think that thing you said about that they said about what's his name? J. Edgar Hoover was worried about black folks organizing.
Oh yeah.
Was that him?
Yes.
Yeah, you could see that. Like that is clearly a prevailing theme still today, which makes me nervous about this whole concept of unifying publicly because they don't really want that to happen. So
the knives are out.
Interesting. So thank you to everyone who turned up and turned out. Shout out to everybody who had to work and was in disguise. Shout out to everybody who had to do their thing, but did their thing and represented. And I'm looking forward to the next thing getting bigger. And shout out to, I can't think of the brother's name, but remember the dude who came up here and said, I'm so tired of marching. He called up here and said, he was like, okay, I came. He literally stopped me and said, I called you. He said, because I believe in y'all. So I'm gonna come on out here, but y'all got to tell me what we're going to do Tuesday. So it's not Tuesday because we're going to do a recap, but we are planning on the voter registration drive of 100,000 black voters.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people, but that's a lot of organizing and a lot of contact and a lot of getting to our people. And it was interesting to see all of the people who weren't the usual suspects that were out as well, who were looking, who exist in pockets and places, and like, yeah, it was kind of crazy. Like brothers was coming up from all over, like, yo, we need to be a part of this. Like, and it not based on individuals, but based on the concept. And I think that concept, I must tell you that it was a very interesting feeling to walk into a black event not on guard for black people. That makes sense? Like, I would tell you that everywhere I go, I have gone for the last 4 years, I feel like not only do I have to worry about the white folks, but I got to worry about black folks. It was good to me to be amongst black folks, and all the people that were amongst each other was like in this spirit of unity, regardless of what it is. And it ain't all gone yet, but we got things we got to do. And it was like the brother nod of, we got our business to settle, but we got bigger issues and bigger fish to fry. And that was the best part of yesterday, too.
I literally was thinking about not the gathering yesterday, but I was thinking about that concept because the civil rights was just like that. I was thinking about Ruthie and Burn It Down. And I was thinking,
you've been saying burn it down a lot lately.
He trying to burn it down.
But I was thinking
he can't figure out an economical.
No, but then I was thinking about me, who was like, no, put some foam on that fire. But I was thinking, in the civil rights movement, there were all different kind of groups. They all didn't look at the world the same way, but they all got together for that one cause. SNCC wasn't like Southern.
It was the
leadership.
Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee.
Not SNCC, but the other
SCLC.
Yes,
the Southern Christian Leadership.
Yeah, they didn't really actually see eye to eye, but at that moment they're like, "This is what we all need to do."
It was
together.
the preachers versus the student activists, right? And the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee eventually became the Burn It Down crew, right? They whole joint was like, nah. But that kind of was like, that's what I felt like yesterday, looking at the camera, or not looking at the camera, but looking at the people. Like, in this group, we are capable of affecting you from the political to the media to the streets. To you really can't go no. Like, if this goes, and we start adding, and if the burn it downs and the put the foams can all be in the same line, and it's like, you pick your poison. But at the end of the day, we all want that. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna tell you, it was I felt the kind of way yesterday. I did. Hopefully optimistic. Recognizing all of the challenges and really just even the growing pains of people working together, different styles and different, not even understanding what people's motivations are, right? Like, because there was literally accountants out there from the National Association of Black Accountants. I was like, now, don't call them a sellout because they ain't going to the fight. but they can make sure our beans is right so that when we gotta bail people out, we straight. Like there was a space for everybody. And there was no, I would tell you that the one thing I wish I would have saw yesterday that was missing was the presence of the Black Greek community openly. Right? Like openly. I felt like that was like kind of the missing visible component of what it was. I think like a lot of us are members, but it's like when you enter that arena, it's like, hold on, let me just put my jacket over here. Not because I'm embarrassed, but I really don't want to go through 3 hours of, y'all been the, even though everybody love all of the fraternity men who have led the charge for us to lead to freedom, but it's all good.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta see what's going on.
Right. You got to You got to be like,
yes, I saw a member of Phi Beta Sigma out there.
Right. And then you get a call from, well, nowadays though, it's
so you gotta scope the land first.
You gotta scope the land. You do gotta scope the land. All right, y'all, this is the Mace Jackson Show. I don't know how we spent that much time on when the biggest news of the day was the departure of my cousin, the illustrious, inimitable, irreplaceable Dr. Janice Jackson. She's leaving CPS, and I must tell you that I am a little bothered by it. Willie Preston he had a great post yesterday. He said, Dr. Janice Jackson is resigning, and he did it wrong though. He said, and I don't like that. But I like when they say, and I don't like that, ION, right? But Dr. Janice Jackson is leaving CPS, and straight up, I don't like that. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I feel like we had a say in Dr. Jackson. We helped. I mean, I remember when it was the good Reverend Dr. Forrest, we shall overcome Claypool, and every single day we wore him out. We wore him out. Like, we wore him out all the way till Dr. Finney had to praise him on his line way out. And I don't like that. I just don't like that. Janice Jackson, Dr. Janice Jackson is leaving us. We're going to talk about that. We're going to spend some time on that. Because out the door with Janice goes the last bit of goodwill in the Black community that Mayor Lloyd Lightfoot has. I just got through telling y'all yesterday, nobody really wants to be on the mayor's team no more, right? Like, because it burns you up. It's like you're going to get burned up in the process. Not only did she leave, though, Joe, she took the top 3 people with her. Well, LaTanya McDade was bouncing. She was going to Virginia anyway, but they had announced that. But I knew something was up because I don't know if you saw that post when Dr. McDade was leaving, and it was her and Dr. Jackson walking, and you could see their heels, and they was walking away like, and I'm just telling you, watching Dr. Jackson on Chicago Tonight yesterday, she was happy. It was like, you want the job. She was like, yeah, it was a dream job. And then you wake up.
And then you
wake up. And I'm just going to tell you.
That's funny.
There's a lot that comes with this. And I'm going to ask you a little bit later, are Chicagoans still good enough for Chicago? Dr. Janice Jackson, I mean, when you listen to Mayor Lightfoot, it was like I don't like, for me, I wish they could have had separate press conferences. I really do. Because I feel like, you know how the mayor gotta always be right? So it's like, no, I don't see a crisis. Look, you lost the top 3 people. You lost all the top of your institutional. Say yes, we're going to have it's going to be tough to fill these shoes, but we've got to reinvigorate, and go another way. And it's like, don't say that at the press conference when we all still feeling bad about Dr. Jackson. But she just can't help herself. She just can't. And I was sitting there like, I just want to also remind you all that the last time she had a big choice like this, we got Superintendent David Brown. I just want y'all to remember that. Seen him lately? Crime through the roof? Lord have mercy. Please help our children. Please, God. Please let this... Please let this... What do we have to do? Do we have to repent? Chicago, I think God is telling us we need to repent. We need an altar call because he is punishing us right now. He is straight punishing us. All right, let's take a quick break and then we'll be back. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the tax credit scholarship program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
Rogers, let me ask a question. Do either that son or your grandson smell like transmission fluid? We trying to find Ruthie a husband. You funny ladies.
Trying to find Ruthie a husband?
We trying to find Ruthie a husband.
You heard that good,
Let me ask you, Rogers, what does Ruthie need to do to find her husband?
I listen to her little voice. I like that little passing voice she got.
Hey, she say,
I know you kind of small, ain't you?
she said you got a pension?
Huh?
She said you got a pension?
Look here, I'm coming down to where you on station located at? Where y'all located?
We down here in Bronzeville. Look, this is what we gonna do. We gonna get you, we gonna do a love connection off the line. Rogers, I want to tell you, man, thank you so much for calling.
You all downtown somewhere?
Yeah, we downtown. I'm gonna put
y'all talking about it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get the address. I'm gonna come into y'all station one morning.
We gonna have you come down. We gonna have you and Ruthie, and we gonna have you sit
I'm
right
an early bird anyway.
Ruthie, you can be the grandmama, the great grandmama of over 110 children.
I love big families.
You know what I'm saying? 110.
WIFTBPN.
Wasted on you. From the beginning, you see my world spinning, just a tasting guide. Wasted on you. Vision was blurry, the mood got me working, and my feelings got loose. Let's just forget I was just playing. Can we move on and have a good night? Let's just forget unless you're sane, then you might think about it's time to time. Let's just forget don't know why I'm waiting. Don't entertain if it ain't right. But let's just say you feel the same. I wouldn't hesitate. Wasted on you. Hours and hours trying to figure out what power makes me feel like I do. Wasted on you. I keep on fighting, but the more I try to hide it, more that you can see through. Let's just forget I was just playing. Can we move on and have a good night? Let's just forget unless you're saying that you might think about it's time to time. Let's just forget.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I love that song. I really do. I am your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Ruthie Moore, and Sonia Escobar. Let me
Yo,
finish
these
these.
comments are hilarious.
What about?
The comments, look, the mayor has more turnover than Walmart and Target.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you that we ain't gonna even talk about the mayor right now. Y'all say that. Say those, because we got a whole hour for this. We gotta talk about this whole thing. Let's go to. Did you hear they said, Ruthie? When they said this, I thought about you so much yesterday. They said we are not gonna. It's unlikely that we'll reach herd immunity. But but what they said was that it's going to become a manageable risk. COVID is now a manageable risk. And I was just thinking, there go your kind of science.
We've evolved.
Right. We are now at the point of
they open back up.
Right. They like open the doors, y'all take y'all chance with it.
No, it's still science, but they also realize that there's social science involved in this too, and that people are going to come out no matter what they say.
Or that people need to come out in order for life to commence in a capitalistic type of way. Basically, come out.
I don't even know if it's capitalistic. I think people,
it is. They need to open up these restaurants.
Well,
they need these
they
festivals.
do need that, but I think people need to be out because if they don't, somebody's going to die.
In what sense?
Cabin fever. Eventually, you kill your mate if you're with them too long.
Thank God I'm
Can you go out without spending money though?
Yes, I got a bike. I got a bike. I put air in the tires, and I still was scared to ride it yesterday. I'm scared to get on the street.
It's been raining.
I never like riding in the rain, really.
But I'm just nervous about riding a bike in these world because I be thinking about how many people I done cursed out on the bicycle.
We can organize a bike ride.
Could you please? Could we?
I was talking about just me and you. I don't think Todd got no bike.
I got a bike, Ruthie, and my bike better than your bike.
What kind of bike you got? Me and Maze got Treks.
And you got a Huffy.
A Schwinn.
He got a Huffy. A Schwinn. Man, remember?
Maybe it is a Schwinn. So what?
Actually, Schwinns are like classic.
They on the come up now.
Yeah, Schwinn is like a classic. What was the yeah. Well, Todd, I'm down.
Yeah, I got a banana seat.
You can ride a wheelie then. Can you ride a wheelie with a banana?
I wasn't strong enough to really. I tried everything. I hitting the curb, but I just couldn't do it.
See, he can't come because I know at least May's gonna have the best bike gear. Your water bottle gonna be electric, like you gonna be ready. But Todd on the banana seat, you gonna mess up our coolness.
Right.
What you need is somebody who won't die while they're doing it, and that's me.
I was just thinking about that though. So I got to figure out where to get a water bottle, and I keep thinking about, am I gonna get this helmet? Right? Am I gonna get a helmet?
You're gonna get a helmet.
You have to.
Do I gotta wear it though?
Yes.
Can I wear my motorcycle helmet?
That doesn't matter what you
know.
wear.
What? Actually, hot.
It's silver. It's cool. It's got a spike on top of it.
But it's gonna
Okay,
get hot.
maybe I need to rethink.
No. We got it. I'm gonna be cool. I gotta think about. But I'm not wearing like no biker shorts. Like I'm not wearing that stuff. Like I'm just be like, don't Nike got some fresh gear, bike gear?
I was thinking you was gonna put on like the spandex and the.
Oh hell no!
That's biker gear. I thought you was going all out. You said you was going all out.
I can't go that fast, so I don't need nothing like that.
No. All right, look. What you will not see. First of all, there is a picture of me in biker shorts that exists on the internet somewhere. Anyway, but that's 16. And I was, look, Ruthie, did you see Ruthie's hands?
I was just joking.
Look, she was like, I'm going to get it.
I might be able to find it for you.
I don't need you to find it. I got it.
You weren't looking.
Find it so we can get it scrubbed.
I got it. Oh, my goodness. You got to be able to laugh at yourself. You know where I had biker shorts on? At Dollywood. Oh. So it was a combination of, I hate this place and I'm in Dollywood.
Oh, you weren't biking?
No, you don't remember when biker shorts was like the style?
I guess, but you know.
Todd, you so funny.
See,
Todd,
Todd,
I thought he was biking.
I was I got a joke, but I was gonna do my Bernie Mac, but I can't do it because it get all dark in here if I did. Okay, y'all. Let me see what else I got on my headlines. Did you see the story about COVID killing the veterans in the veterans home? So let me just say this, and I'm not gonna spend too much time on this today. J.B. Pritzker, during the pandemic, the veterans' homes were hotbeds of death. And during the time, the head of Veterans Affairs, who was a political appointee, really like usually when you're the director, your deputy and all your other people do the work, and the director goes to all the festivals, goes to all the stuff in waves. But the department kind of runs itself.
Meet the face, right?
Yeah, it's like you're the governor's appointee, so you get the big job, you get to the meetings, you go to all the conferences, but it's people that work most of the times. Mm-hmm. But in the case of COVID, if you were the head of the Veterans Affairs, it was no longer just a cush job, right? Because the head of Veterans Affairs is like, everybody loves you. You show up at all the ribbon cuttings. But after the Legionnaire's disease, then you saw that they had another outbreak of COVID, and there was a rampant cases of COVID, and they covered it. They don't want to say they covered it up, but they ignored it. Last week, J.B. Pritzker fired Linda Chapelavia and said if he would have known that she was that one of your mates? Was she down there when you were there?
She's after me.
She's the Democrat who was a state rep from the Aurora area, but she was also a military veteran, and so military issues were her thing. And when J.B. Pritzker won, he appointed her to that slot. The challenge with that, Todd, is those political appointees in the case of a crisis, you got to be able to do your job, and apparently she wasn't able to do the job. A lot of people died, and now he's kind of passing the buck to her. But, like, part of the biggest thing that they did with Bruce Rauner was the fact that so many veterans died from Legionnaire's disease, and they beat him over the head with it, right? And he didn't do anything to fix this. And I just think it's so interesting to me how death is manipulated in both ways. And I just think it's kind of crazy that nobody is really talking about that. Shout out to my man, Bob Israel, who I did not see yesterday, who I feel like was one of the missing components. Hey, brother, reach out. Let me say this. Alderman Gilbert Villegas, did y'all check? If y'all was checking out my Facebook page yesterday, I guess I have to come to the reality that the Secretary of State's race is on and popping. Last night, 36th Ward Alderman Gilbert Villegas held the first candidate forum that I'm aware of for Secretary of State. Included in it were Alderman Pat Dow from the 3rd Ward, City Clerk Anna Valencia, and State Senator Mike Hastings.
Oh, I saw that, but I couldn't get it to play. So she was like stuck there, and I don't know her well. So I was like, I think that's Anna Valencia.
Oh, well, if you would have went on my page, you could have watched the whole thing. Y'all, first of all, this city key, that's one thing. Secondly, okay, I'm going to tell you. So if I were rating this, so just so you know my personal feelings about all of the people. So I'm probably not going to go. So I would say here's how it broke down yesterday. If I was watching and I did not know all of the backstory, I would say that Anna Valencia won yesterday. Right? That's if I was watching just dispassionately and I wasn't upset with the treachery that came with this and all of those different things, I would say Anna Valencia won. I would say that Mike Hastings, white people are going to be like, that's our guy. White people are going to be like, that's our guy. And I would say that Alderman Pat Dow is getting warmed up to the campaign trail in these forums, right? And I think she'll probably improve over time. Who was not there was Alexi Janulius.
All right.
He did not appear yesterday, which was interesting to watch because I thought he was from the north side. But anyway, check out, you got to watch Alderman Gilbert Villegas. He's playing now, right? And part of the thing that I thought people needed to understand when you were watching is that was a ward organization. That was not for the public, right? We got a sneak peek, and they were asking about their own self-interests. And they were like, what do we get? How will it reflect? We gonna get some jobs out this joint? Because that's what really people look at. So shout out to Alderman Gilbert Villegas, who gave us insight into his candidate forum and let us get a sneak peek in. But you all, black folks, they're going to try to, so I need for you to understand, Jesse White's been in that spot almost 2 decades, right? They are going to
more than that.
Dance around the black community and look for safe, soft spots where they will not be questioned toughly, right? So don't be surprised. I mean, they'll go, but I think we need to have a Secretary of State forum right here. Like, really. And I don't think that we can allow them to ignore us in this election cycle. I think that all of those people that Because it's like everybody talks about the black vote kind of as a given. Right? And it seemed to me like they all had their appeals. But if I hear about that city key card one more time, I swear, they like, we just be printing them. And I just, like, she be like, y'all got to go back and watch it. It's on, not the Maze Jackson page, it's on my personal page. But go back and check it out and pay attention, because I just think that we need to be thinking about all of this stuff as we go. But I will tell you that Anna Valencia has all the woke, she got all the, she know how to say all the stuff. Does that make sense? Like, she knows how to say all the stuff. She knows how to say all, she has got, like, I swear to God, I feel like we gonna look up and Ruthie gonna be on the campaign. Cause she, I'm gonna be like, Ruthie!
I'll let you know before I go.
But I think we gotta have, first of all, we gotta have someone everywhere. But the other part is, guys, these people are making decisions and plans around the black community, not with the black community. Right? I mean, I think they sat some of these. Okay, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on that. All right, how about Bill and Melinda Gates are getting divorced? Dang, how much is that settlement?
No prenup either.
I'm gonna tell you, if
And she filed.
I don't know why people really care about prenups, and they're worth what? Is it billions? Multi-millions? Who cares if she has 100 million and
Ask Dr. Dre.
he's got 300 million? Who cares about
Ask
that
Dr.
kind
Dre.
of stuff? You know they consider you a millionaire if you have like $1.1 million. So I think they'll both do all right.
Bill and Melinda Gates are getting divorced. I'm not gonna cry over.
I meant to say rich.
I'm not going to
Uber rich.
I'm not going to cry over any millionaires or billionaires, but I just couldn't imagine. I mean, just probably because I can't fathom writing a check that big, right? It's probably why. So I'm not upset either way. Because even if she got 1/10, she still goes.
What a life.
She's a billionaire. They split, and
They
still
good.
the billionaires, the richest people in the world, part of the richest people in the world.
She been trying to leave.
Oh, really?
She was just waiting.
Till them stocks maxed out. I'm gonna tell you. She was like, "Did I get my full 401k now? Did your everything mature?"
Am I vested?
Right.
She got vested in
I'm gonna tell you though. With that much money, well, I'm gonna say before she get it, she need to walk on real good eggshells. Right? Before she get it, she need a food taster. She need a food taster. She need to get all that together. I want to talk about the Latino school board vote. Did y'all, you know that? Oh, I'll show y'all that a little later. Did y'all know that the mayor said that she will not support any elected school board proposal that does not that disenfranchises undocumented immigrants and does not allow them to vote on it? Now, I want you
What
to
do you mean
understand
to vote?
to vote on the school board. Now, here's the thing.
What does that mean?
What it means is, Todd, is that if they have an elected school board, that the school board elections will become part of the municipal process, just like they are in other places, which would then essentially mean that the undocumented immigrants can vote in a municipal election, which essentially means that once you say they can vote in the school board election, if the school board election is during the mayoral election, guess what? You're going to be like, oh, you can vote for this, but not that?
Well, you can, but...
Yeah, but we know that that's not the goal.
No, that's not the goal.
Okay, and so
there has to be a
y'all ain't saying
a
nothing.
force against.
Ain't nobody gonna do.
And you might be right.
Ain't nobody, y'all, because it's politically incorrect to say that. Like, I literally, yesterday, we was having this conversation. And do you know, like, the Latinos was snapping, like, he's a hater and he hates the people and that's why he's not. And I was like, Doug, you really think that undocumented immigrants should vote in the school board? Well, if the school board they can vote in LSC elections, those aren't municipal elections. No. If you make the school board an elected position, it then becomes a municipal election. And again, who's going to say no? Because how are they going to register to vote unregistered? You don't have to register to vote. Let me back up. You don't have to show ID to vote. You can show up and vote. And then once all them votes are there, the next thing they're gonna say is, how can we disenfranchise all of these people who, dog, y'all know the pattern. They put you in a socially awkward position, and then they push the issue. And you can't say no because you done tied your whole life to this black and brown thing, and the next thing that black and brown thing go mollywop you. You can see how they think of you just by the fact that when we tried to unify for ourselves and just say we want the same thing they got, we became haters.
Hey,
And
this goes from what you said yesterday. The question you asked yesterday. You asked Ruthie,
what was that, Todd?
"Are you a Chicagoan?"
Ooh.
So are they a Chicagoan? I say no. They're not citizens, so they shouldn't vote.
I'm going to tell you, as logical as that sounds, it's not. Like, and I'm just telling, yeah, okay, so where's my Maestradamus hat? As the Maestradamus, I am telling you all right now that if they get this elected school board and they allow undocumented immigrants to vote in the elected school board, not the local school council, the elected school board that controls a multi-billion-dollar budget, they are essentially opening the door to allowing undocumented immigrants to vote in municipal elections. Now, imagine at the moment when they say, okay, you can vote for a school board, but nothing else. Wait till the outcry comes, and what is anybody going to do to say against it? Because you will be positioned as anti-immigrant and anti-racist. I'm reading these comments from the Latinos who have shared our press conference yesterday, and they are literally saying it was anti-immigrant and racist. Think about the gravity of that. So, I'm just telling you, while y'all sitting here looking at me like that'll never happen, every time we look up, the envelope gets pushed. Now, you cannot, in your own self-interest, you could call it racist, you can call it whatever you want, but in your own self-interest, if you give away more voting power to people who don't have your same interests, don't be mad when you can't live in Inglewood. Don't be mad when you can't live in Bronzeville. Don't be mad because you voted for your own demise. And right now, what they are doing is creating the scenario to make a logical rationale that people who live in Chicago, in the sanctuary city, and it is already happening in Connecticut, it is already happening in California. So don't tell me what the law says, because again, all you have to do is get somebody to. Okay, I'm through. Does it make? Do y'all get that? No, I'm sorry.
No, I think you have a point. I mean, I was just listening on the radio about North Carolina, and when they passed their bill saying that transgender people had to go to the bathroom of the
race that they were picked,
sex, that they were born of.
Yep.
And they got such a bad backlash that they reversed it.
Remember, they boycotted. Before they was boycotting over votes, they was boycotting. Remember North Carolina, they was pulling a convention up out of there over the third bathroom. Look, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna stop because y'all gonna call me some kind of name at the end of this. I'm just saying, I'm not against people having the right to vote. I am against. Let me take this just one step further. I said in a comment yesterday, I went on the Latino post who had shared my comments, and I said, we died for the right to vote. And they basically was like, and our people were here, and so this was our land before, and that ain't got nothing to do with us. We march, like, think about this. They are pulling the voting rights issues that we are standing up for, even in Georgia, are not about us. They are about the next voting base. And y'all running up the hill talking about they won't give us no water at the vote. Take some with you. No. Like, you're fighting for your own. Atlanta, y'all just ain't seen it yet. Remember how black Chicago used to be? Atlanta, you're next. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the Tax Credit Scholarship Program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard.
What are y'all takes on blended families?
Meaning white people? Or what?
No, she mean like you got kids, this person got kids, y'all get together and bring the whole family together. I don't know. I have zero experience with it. I imagine it could be challenging. Especially, I think the older the children are, I think the more challenging it could be. I think if it's little children or something, you can kind of explain it to them, and they may like grow up together and kind of in that same space where this is mom, this is dad type thing. But if you talk about older kids where they literally have a mom or dad, another person like that has been in their lives, when they're older, and you're like, oh no, this is your stepbrother, stepsister. Like, nah, we like 17. Like, I'll bone her.
And if this family don't work, you can just give me to the game anyway. Ain't no other, it ain't gonna matter. No woman will ever be important. I'm not being an ass. I'm serious. In my mind, the value of that kind of a commitment is family. I got that already. So now we just chilling. So you ain't gonna really know my children.
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard live on What's In It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
WIIFTVPN.
I can see it in your eyes. You've been hurt way too many times, baby. And if I'm being honest, yeah, I can tell, girl, that you want this, yeah, but I can only wait for so long, girl. Giving us both some space so we can see, but don't make this too hard, yeah, 'cause I still want you right next to me, girl, it's plain to see, yeah. Don't play with it, baby, life's too short, gotta make a decision, yeah. It's time to make up your mind, girl. You gotta make up your mind, girl. You don't have to say a word. Writing's all over your face, yeah. You don't have to hurt no more. Just give me your love. You don't hold back and let it go. But I'ma only wait for so long, girl. Giving us both some space so we can see, but don't make this too hard, yeah. 'Cause I still want you right next to me, girl, it's plain to see, yeah. Oh, baby,
WIIFTBPN.
Baby, haven't we been through this? So why you keep playing with my emotions? How many times can I tell you that I ain't down with all the drama? So we can just keep it simple. I think I'm gonna have to let you go. You know what I want. Still you're playing games. You don't treat me right. You don't answer your phone, but you want me to believe that you was at home all night. Ain't going down like that. Don't hang up, then you go right back. 'Cause I ain't going out like that. No. Who you think you fooling like that? Who you fooling? Them other girls with it, boy, I don't like that. Baby, keep it moving like that. Oh no. Thought I told you when we started that if you want friends with benefits, then keep it pushing, 'cause I ain't down with that. You ain't catching feelings, telling me I'm the one you want. Boy, you gotta let the others go. I won't take it personal. If you're not the type to be tied down, don't make this difficult. Just kiss this all goodbye. Ain't going down like that. Don't hang up, then you go right back. 'Cause I ain't going out like that. No. Who you think you fooling like that? Who you fooling? Them other girls with it, boy, I don't like that. Baby, keep it moving like that. Oh yeah. Oh no. I ain't going out like that.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
WIIFTBPN.
I've been looking for you. You've been looking for me. So hard to find what feels right. They don't see who I am. I didn't know who I was. Too afraid to show what's inside. Get to taking them chances. Oh yeah. Don't never care what no one says. No. Better learn your lesson. It's time for you to learn your lesson. Note to self, yeah, here we go, it's our time. Note to self, yeah, no more pressing rewind. Gotta get your head in the game, it's time to play. I know it's hard, but you'll thank me someday. Note to self, yeah, here we go, it's our time. Here we go, it's our time, yeah. I'm tired of running away. I'm looking you in the eye, facing my fears for the first time. See, it's okay to be you. You got nothing to prove. 'Cause in the end, it's gonna be alright, yeah. Get to taking them chances, oh yeah. Don't never care what no one says, no. Better learn your
note to self, yeah, here we go, it's our time.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For the black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around, it can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze, it's Sonia, and Ruthie, and Todd, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressed to solve on.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Ruthie Moore. You got a little comedy in you somewhere. Some days you ain't so. You got a little comedy. Like, you know, cause you know, you be like, you wanna give Ruthie the layup. She be like, I'm not playing today. I'm not. You know how you pass somebody the ball and they don't even put their hands up.
Nuh-uh, but at least I told you, don't pass it. Don't pass it. Don't pass it.
Don't pass me this ball.
You know why? That's because Ruthie is doing some work in her head. And she's like, I ain't paying attention to him.
She like,
no, I like basketball.
We gonna get us a basketball game. I was thinking, would you play in the mornings? Ruthie like
the morning.
Ruthie like, I'm not playing.
What do you mean, like 3?
What's morning?
Yeah, right.
2 a.m.
No,
before you come here.
Before you get here.
No. I was thinking on Sunday. Like, could we get in a Sunday morning run?
Like I would, except I can't. I don't have any more legs. It's been too long. When you're this old, if you take a break, it's all over.
You can get back.
Maybe. So I'm just saying, y'all, if we could get like a basketball game going from like 8 to 10 on Sunday mornings, you don't think we could get nobody to play?
Oh no, you can all.
We get old people. Ruthie like, I just came in the house at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I don't. Do people?
I mean, I'll cheer you guys on.
Getting up early on a Sunday is like you just church.
It's not early, son. It's not early anymore, Ruthie.
8.
Ruthie, it's not early. We get up at 4 in the morning every day.
Yeah, but
your body wake up at that
time.
time.
I struggle sitting here talking to y'all this early. I can't imagine having to like run up and down the court.
Pass the ball, Ruthie. Pass. I'm not passing nothing.
When I was at the
Ruthie taking shots from half court all day.
When I was at the East Bank Club, we had an 8 Saturday and an 8 Sunday run.
See, that's my point. My point would be like, let's get it in and get the days going. Yeah. I would like to play. I'd like to get some 5-on-5s. I really want my boy to play with some more people, right? I want him to get banged up a little bit, some all type of stuff going on. But I'm thinking about
you only
8
get
o'clock
better
in
by
the mornings.
playing.
Right. 8 o'clock in the mornings. Ruthie, don't be acting like that. We expect you. We'll see you at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I know some people work. Some people work out as soon as they wake up in the morning.
I was thinking.
Don't worry, Mace. I'll pull up in front of her house. Bump, bump, bump.
We'll be at the gym. Don't be bumping in front of my house. And they just be like, turn it down. What you doing? Yeah, man. But I was just thinking about our basketball players. I'm not gonna play, but I do think it would be a good thing. We get Gino out there. Gino will probably get out there. He be trying to. He don't run, but Gino can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
He be whack with that leather ball. Let's see. Who would be the teams? 2, to be acting like he could ball. I'd be like,
come on.
What's your vertical, dog? Look, he like I got look my hip.
But what we do know, he's read a lot of books about basketball.
Ew.
Shout out to Tucson Werner who came out yesterday too. It's like you had to decipher who people was. This mask stuff, people.
Oh right.
Because with the mask, people be like, "What's up?" You be like, "I don't know you." Then they be like, "It's me." I was like, "Oh, it's you. What up, huh?" Yeah, man, it was pretty cool because it was like people. Then it's funny because people know who you are in a mask, and then they don't take the. It's just it was a lot going on yesterday. But shout out to everybody who came out to the North Office of North American Descendants of Slaves. Anybody that's in opposition to that, why are you? Got to ask yourself, what's your problem? You know, I didn't get to the social media question of the day. I think I might save it. But did y'all hear the story about the 23-year-old man in South Carolina who was kept as a slave? I mean, the man who was kept as a slave for 23 years in South Carolina. 12 plus 23 is what? 35? So he's 35 years old. For 23 years, he was a slave, kept as a slave at a restaurant in South Carolina. We got to talk about that. And so I don't even know how that happens, but
That's
and then he got a
fiction type of
black man, mentally challenged, white man taking advantage. We're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna save it.
How do you disappear at 12? Well, I guess anything.
No,
can
his
happen.
parent. So that's my point. There's so much in this that I don't. Because the slave owner said his parents knew. And they said when the parents would come to visit him, that he would lock them in the freezer. Huh? What kind of Devin Gordine, South Carolina mess is that?
Who's Devin Gordine?
Devin is the vice president of what's in it for the black people. But he always be talking smack about Chicago, and I was just like, they still slaving in South Carolina. And you know, if that happened, it's more than one. There's more than that. Now, I do want to point out that they published the address in the paper and said it's still owned by the family. So
the restaurant?
Just as and let's just be clear, South Carolina is also where the Army sergeant attacked the young boy. South Carolina, let's also be clear.
Fort Bragg?
South Carolina is also where Emmanuel Baptist Church is, where Dylan Roof was. Let's also be clear, South Carolina is where Walter Scott got shot 6 times in the back for child support.
South Carolina is where the rest of the states copied for their slave codes.
South Carolina was the original capital. Charleston was the original capital of the Confederacy. Coincidence?
Maybe not.
Clemson football. Is Clemson in
Wait a
South
minute. Does maybe not mean I agree with you or not? I'm not sure. But yeah, you're right.
We're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to that. Because who ate at that restaurant? Who knew? Who knew?
You know, there was a Law and Order about something like that, but it was about
Mexicans.
Haitians.
Oh, no, it wasn't Law and Order.
Yeah, it was Law and Order.
Okay, so they did one on Law and Order. They also did one on Channel 7.
Oh, really?
Where it was, they did those, that one, how they are starting to do these 1-season series? Where it's a series and it's only for 1 season. It's like, it's not, so it was like, that one was the one where they were showing domestic slavery, where they basically kept the Haitian woman's passport. And the woman would beat her and do stuff. But that seems a little different than this. Right? Like, I understand the foreign part. I don't understand that one either. But this one seems a little, like, this seemed like some straight up, we got us a boy at 16. They said they kept his money in an account that he could never see. Now, I tell you what, though, Devin, talking about we all gullah and don't know it.
He started working there at 12.
Right. 12 years old. 23 years they kept him. Thank you, Erica Limited Series. That's crazy, right? You reading it? Are you looking at? Ain't that crazy? So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna come back to it because I want to talk about Janet Jackson. Because I swear to God, can we please get a helicopter squad? Can we get a black helicopter, like a Black Hawk helicopter, and just be on the and come? What like? Are there any black people that was Green Berets? Like seriously,
I'm sure there
were
were.
there any black people that were like CIA operatives that are now feeling some kind of way? Are there like black marksmen? Are there like black? Like I'm gonna be honest with you.
They won't tell you.
Right. That's I don't want them to tell us. I want them to tell him. Like I just feel like these are the moments, and I'm not calling for, but like if I was writing a movie again, like the movie would have a great ending for this dude. Like people would be cheering. Right? And I just feel like I'm starting to feel like there just has to be a black response. Like there has to be, the more I look at the Exterminate the Brutes, I just feel like there's got to be a time when there's a response. If I was writing a movie, not in real life, but if I was writing a movie, there would have to be a time when the leaks of what's happening to him make it to the internet. Right? Like where, like the white supremacist who's thinking the next time is thinking like, Jesus Christ, I got to get from inside that mug to the white supremacy deck. And within that time between there, it's the gauntlet. I just feel like there is no fear of repercussion. Like I think we know, like we've seen lynchings, we've seen castrations, we've seen all of it. We've seen the horrific mutilation of our bodies so that there is deep down in us an innate fear of, and not an innate fear, but an innate concern of what they are capable of doing to us. Right? Like we know that these are people that will draw and quarter you. They will do all type of stuff. Mm-hmm. And so deep down in your brain, in the back of you, I'm not going to say fear, but you know what they're capable of. And we also know what we're not capable of. Or we think we're not capable of. And the concept, okay, I'm just going to go to it. I'm going to go to it, and we'll come to Janet Jackson a little bit later. So in case you do not know what I'm talking about, there was a story of a man in South Carolina. Let me get his name. For 23 years, Bobby Paul Edwards kept John Christopher Smith as a slave. He had him work 100 hours per week. 100 hours per week with no break. No breaks every day. He had to work 18 hours a day with 11 on Sundays. This is in a diner, right? Said his family, he got the job when he was age 12. They said when the family came to look for him, Bobby Paul would lock John Christopher Smith in a walk-in freezer and not let them see him. When he would beat him with belt buckles, with belts, even used hot tongs to discipline him, as well as poured hot grease on him. Often called him Ninja. And a visitor, or not a visitor, what do you call him? Somebody came to eat there and saw him come out of the kitchen and saw the scars on his neck and called the police, and they went in. Now, for that 23 years of slavery, the judge awarded him $272,000, $952.96, and sentenced Bobby Paul Edwards to 10 years in jail.
The appellate court says that they need to double it to $546.
Ooh, they so good to the poor black folks. So I gotta ask you, This is disturbing to me, guys. This is tremendously disturbing to me. And I want to know, how does this happen? How does a 12-year-old get a job and for 23 years your family doesn't know? Unless the family is in the same scenario.
If he has mental disabilities, is he getting a check? And who getting his check?
I can't stand you.
I'm just saying.
So the well, let me back up.
I don't know.
But back up, because they did say the family knew. The Bobby Joe Christian said the family, they knew. They knew what was going on. I gotta ask y'all, how does this happen? I'm gonna open up the phone lines. Ruthie, but could you go back to what you're saying about if he got disability, what are you trying to imply with that?
Well, it just seems that if he started working there at 12, then likely he started working under the table before, child labor laws was like a huge thing. So it probably wasn't a huge deal that this 12-year-old developmentally disabled child had this job at this restaurant. Cool. And then, but fast forward to when the new guy took over. It says in 2009, that's when he began physically abusing Smith. And then you kind of ask, well, where were all the people at? Where are all the checks and balances? And sometimes when developmentally disabled children turn into adults, you have to then find care for them. Like it's not easy all the time taking care of a developmentally disabled adult. And so in the family's mind, I'm just totally speculating, but it was probably easier for them to be like, well, he lives independently on his own. He works. He got an apartment. I don't know what the Smith family take care of him. Like he good. So I have some questions related to, was he getting Social Security disability? Where was that going? If he was getting it, and why was the people that worked at the restaurant also so afraid of this white man? And it's because it said they kind of was afraid and they needed their jobs. So it sounds like some exploitation happening like a lot. And also this restaurant, this family, they bogus for passing a slave down generations like they did.
No, they not.
Because they knew.
They ain't bogus. That's part of their birthright, that slave. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Ruthie, you do it better than me. Could you do it, please?
872-259-7474.
And for all the folks out there, that's 7474. All right, y'all, give us a call. How, Todd, does this happen? You know, you might have to ask Janine, because she from Nolens. You know, I feel like they still got slaves in Nolens too. My parents used to tell me that there were still slaves in Florida growing up. That's why I didn't ever want to go to Florida.
I think I've heard that too somewhere.
How?
People take advantage of developmentally disabled people all the time. All the time.
But in this instance, it seems like it was a little more than that. From the article I read, that everybody in the restaurant was afraid of the owner. They were afraid, like, man, this guy may kill me,
or I might lose my job.
So
wait, from the article, I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. From the article, they would be like, well, I didn't tell anybody what was going on because I'm afraid of him.
But so is he like one of them old racists? Was he like the Grand Wizard or something?
Well, I mean, it was obvious he had no problem using physical force because he burned the young man with some hot tongs.
Tongs, not hot tongs. That would have burned
he was wearing. No, hot
tongs
on his neck. So we know he was capable of, heinous acts.
Were there any black employees there? Give us a call. 872-259-7474. I know Brother Frank is on the line. Let's go to Brother Frank. Brother Frank, how does this happen?
Brother, man. First of all, good morning, Brother Mays, Brother Todd, and Sister Sonia and Ruthie.
Good morning.
Wow. You asked the same question in regards to that young sister who got shot by the cops that was interference. How is she in a foster home with all this family around? You see, this is just another example that should be telling us we're not as unified as we should be. Of course, the mother and father knew. I wonder if it's the biological mother and biological father. One of them would say, hey, look, where's my son? Okay. Of course, the family knew. The immediate family knew, okay, because there was no missing police report, no missing person police report filed. Okay, what about the extended family? One of my cousins is not going to just up and disappear, especially if they are handicapped or retarded. Well, we say, hey, look, where's Wayne? What Wayne been there for these 12 years? This just go to show you. You know what I'm saying? Black people, we need to get our act together and start really pulling together as a family. Okay? That's how this happened. We dropping the ball. Okay, but can I speak on your cousin right quick, Ms. Jenna Jackson, who I don't blame her for dissociating herself from Mayor Lightfoot.
Wait a minute, that was your girl, Frank. Mayor Lightfoot was your girl. That was your girl. Mayor Lightfoot was your girl.
Wait a minute. Repeat that, Brother Mays.
I think she used to be. I thought you was down with Mayor Lightfoot at one point.
Are you kidding? Mayor Lightfoot? I'm the one who came on the air and said that she is, for black people, the worst mayor this city has ever seen. She works in both the dailies, Jane Byrne and Bonnie Mayer. Don't even mention her voice in the same breath as her watching, because not only has she done nothing for us, the city desire for us, like she's done for everyone else, she has also contributed to our demise. Your cousin, I bet you, I love her when your cousin came out and said, this is about 4 or 5 months ago, when she said, I'm having a problem with all the vast majority of CPS students are black and brown, and particularly black, but the overwhelming majority of the teachers are white. I said, oh, about parents, she's going to do something about this. I guarantee you, Mayor Lightfoot behind the scenes shut that down and push back on it and said, leave it alone. I bet you that when your cousin said, look, I got to get away from this. Reason why I said she's the worst, because she looked like I can understand someone that don't look like us, not doing nothing for us, and contribute to our demise. I can understand that. But someone who does look like us and doing that, that's what make her the worst. Okay? That's what make her the worst. Just know what it was. I'm going to re-vote for this Mayor May Jackson. And I'm embarrassed to say, well, I couldn't make it yesterday, but I was there in spirit.
I appreciate you, Brother Frank. Well, we got plenty more coming. So thank you, brother. Thank you, Brother Frank. Okay, y'all. So Ruthie and Brother Frank, y'all making me think the worst of people. I'm gonna go to the phone lines.
Before you, at the end, even though it took forever, it was an employee who called the police and said, "Hey, man, you got to do something."
An employee's relative,
right? It wasn't the employee.
Oh, is that what it said?
Yeah, Don't question Ruthie. You know she read. Reading is fundamental. You be skimming. All right, let's go to.
No, it says, who's Canes?
Let's go to. While you trying to figure that out, let's go to two. Right. Two. Wait a minute. Hold on. Is this I said what I said? Calling in because they want to be on the Maze Jackson show. What's up, two? It's the Maze Jackson show. How you feeling, bro? Appreciate you coming out yesterday too.
I'm clear that this is not about wanting to be on the Ruthie Moore show. This is more about one, first and foremost. Y'all talking crazy about basketball. We got to correct that immediately.
Immediately.
Shout out to Brother Sadiq, because I've been on my no April, no meat move, and my hip is feeling better. So anybody in that room that want that smoke, y'all just let me know. I'm getting back to the game. I'm on my way to the gym this morning.
And then he gonna be limping up the steps talking about, damn, my hip. It's all good, bro. I don't want none because I can't even hit the side of the bar.
Right.
But Ruthie said she'll
work.
Ruthie said she'll run you off the court.
No, I didn't.
Ruthie know better. Ruthie know better for sure. But look, man, real quick, around the South Carolina thing, man, I think what it really references is that when we think about the developmentally disabled, Ruthie has a point in regards to, like, how parents have to discard them because they can't afford to take care of them. But what it really speaks to is the developmentally disabled position that our entire community is in because of the repercussions and ramifications of slavery, because we've been left out of the economic fold of America. So I didn't even think, I heard that story a couple of days ago too, and I was going to talk about it on our show, but I didn't even think about it from the perspective that Ruthie brought up. And when she was like, where's the parents? Where's the Social Security check? What's going on with that? And that becomes an investment for that parent. It sounds terrible, but it's the repercussions of being black and poor. It just kind of is what it is. And when you think about economic engines like South Carolina, where you know that the cost of living is zero, so you know that there's no real industry there, they're probably surviving off his slavery too. It's the reality. So to allow him to be abused like that, I mean, it sounds horrible, but his abuse is probably taking care of their entire family.
Damn, man. And just think, you had to
That's
come.
all I got.
That's look. That now you got to get an audience to tell it to. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. No, much love. No. Let me say this real quick. We got a great family here. We got a great team. I appreciate the insights that we get from I Said What I Said. I think they give a unique perspective that is important for black men. And I want to encourage you all to check them out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. That is Toussaint Werner, the curmudgeon of the crew. And we also have Herb Howard, who keeps it light. So I want to tell y'all to keep on What's in It for the Black People Media Network. We appreciate all of our shows. Book of Dawn, Brother Sadiq and the Green Side of Things, Toure Muhammad, Chris, even weeks week on Wednesdays, Brian Foster. I don't. We also got Church Chicago, and they telling me we got a big addition to the lineup coming here to the What's in It for the Black People Media Network. Like, we'll talk about it all. But look, y'all, let's take a quick break. I'm gonna come back to that though, because I do think that Two's perspective, and first of all, let's be clear. The origin of Two's perspective came from Ruth and Mo. 872-259-7474. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the tax credit scholarship program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning.
The Fraternal Order of Police. It is the president, John J. Catanzara Jr.
We all saw the Anjanette Young video.
Naturally, when someone hears, I didn't do it, you got the wrong place, you just discard it. You have an obligation to make sure that the rest of the place that you're doing a search warrant on is secure.
Okay, so you used the word naturally. And when you watch that video, naturally, a natural reaction would have been to provide her with some coverage for her naked body.
Have you ever been to police?
And so
have you ever been to police?
Let me finish my question. So a natural reaction was not what we saw from those white police officers.
A natural police reaction is to secure the scene.
So a natural police reaction is different from a natural
Well, we're
human
talking
reaction.
about police. We're not talking about you going into a building. We're talking about the police going into a building.
Hence why in the beginning of the question, I related it to training. Are police officers trained to not see black people as human? And so police training would make them naturally react to see me as an animal?
I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer because that's just an ignorant statement to make. They went in there looking for an offender
who was not there.
Do you know that until you searched the whole place?
They did. They searched, and she stood there naked.
And at that point,
after they had the scene secure, she still stood there naked.
Again, I already conceded the fact that they could have did a better job covering her up, but her race had nothing to do with it, and you're going to keep implying it. I'm going to keep telling you you're absolutely wrong.
So is it a lack of training? Is it a lack of proper training?
No.
I don't know about it. I keep telling you, you got the wrong place. You got the wrong place.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. We will kill you for our woman.
Call in and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474. That's 872-259-7474. Give us a call and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474.
See, I'm in a corner, so are you. Holding ground in different rooms. It's hard to breathe, but still I try. Maybe I'd leave it set free. It's all I want or ever have, to be known just as I am. If you can meet me in that light, I believe we'll be alright. Be alright.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host.
I'm giving them shopping advice.
Oh my gosh.
No,
Thank
please
you,
don't.
Todd. I can
Todd.
use any fashion advice. I'm taking it.
From Todd?
He got a little swag.
No,
he got swag.
he
He,
got-
got swag.
I got my own.
We got
swag.
You don't got no A.
Swag.
Yes.
I got my own thing.
You got our own thing. I can't do it.
That was closer. That's why I didn't do it.
I can't do it. All right. Y'all want to talk about the slavery? Anybody got any more to say about the slavery? I think
Dang.
I have a developmentally disabled. Is that the term? Frank? Yeah.
Frank said retarded. I just need to say.
I was thinking
you can't say that
when
anymore.
Frank said that. I think
Yeah, not
I
no
was
more.
thinking Frank's older than me, so I see where he came from. He was.
Yeah,
thinking
we
about what
said
they
that
said.
though. I mean, I don't.
I mean, it's a scientific thing, but it became it's a social faux pas.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a social faux pas now.
So we're not referring to anyone specifically. The word retarded means slow.
Yeah, but you have to, you have to spend a lot of time and keep your eye on that person.
It's like forever babysitting.
Yes, right. Forever
And
babysitting.
Part of the challenge is like what Tu was saying with the cost of care. And sometimes I have family members that work in like the developmentally disabled space. So they work with like adults. And not only is it big business, but it's not easy. Like sometimes placement is difficult for people to get placement into those what we just consider to be like homes, and the cost of it. And so if you do get Social Security or disability, things like that, if you put your people in a home, the home get that. So sometimes
Right.
it might be more lucrative to keep them at the crib and collect that. I'm gonna say collect that check, but to get that check.
Is that the person that's always? Is that the uncle that's always in the closet in the room, or is he from Vietnam?
Ooh,
right. Like I'm not trying to be funny.
I'm
saying
with you. Like everybody got people in their family.
a lot of people have a person that they kind of keep in a room. They feed them. They slide their stuff. They got them a TV. They ain't getting no. But that's how the family takes care of him or her. And they like even when you got events, they don't really come out. They just stay in the room. You might see them, or they make a plate for them.
Yeah, those people are a little different, in my opinion. Those are people, like you're saying about the Vietnam. Those people are not comfortable out in the public. Where the people who kind of like grow up with that kind of stuff, they may be comfortable in the public, but they just don't know how to maneuver in the spaces with people.
Or somebody.
School systems are great supports for developmentally disabled children. And oftentimes a lot of those services are free.
That's where our relatives went. They went through our public school system.
But then when you get older, you ain't got the public school system. And so
Right.
what are you supposed to? You got to go to work. So what you do? You got to find like adult daycare. Sometimes that stuff is not cheap. So you have to depend on, government assistance in order to be able to qualify for some of those programs.
And like Ruthie said, adult daycare. So, I mean, these are people with adult strength. You have to be able to
control them, and it's challenging to have developmentally disabled young people, and then when young people grow up into adults, it's challenging. And it's a space that I think in the Black community we should pay more attention to that space, because I'm just going off on a little tangent, but I think that sometimes some of our young people are like borderline developmentally disabled.
Yes.
And we ignore it. So they might have like an individualized education plan at school, like but when they get older, they no longer have those supports. So This is just my opinion, but I think some of that is what's driving the violence and some of the social ills is developmentally disabled people who ain't getting treatment.
I'm gonna tell you, Ruthie, that I'm gonna tell you that I agree with that.
Okay, I ain't take it too far.
No, I don't think you took it too far, and the reason I'm gonna say so my daughter helps me understand. Like she tells me like even the shooters are often the crazy boy or the person that is a little touched that it's like he functions, but everybody knows that you could send him off and he don't got everything ain't connected. There are people that just say it ain't, but
they vulnerable.
They are vulnerable and they are used. And often I remember like one of the you know what it makes me think of what's the story? Remember they made a movie about it too, where the guy was like a cowboy and he had a slow friend and he broke the neck
of Mice and Men.
Right?
Steinbeck.
John Steinbeck. There you go. I knew I wasn't crazy. John Steinbeck of Mice and Men. And what was I can't think of the boy's name.
George and Lenny.
And Lenny was the slow one, right?
Right.
But Lenny was big and he was a happy kid, but he had brute strength.
Right.
And I feel like that has been a lot of times, that seems like what this guy was. But that brute strength is almost like Pinky and the Brain. So they got the brute strength. They don't understand necessarily how to use it. And then somebody uses it, not in Mice of Men, but in the streets, they don't look at your mind. They look at your size.
And then on the contrary, sometimes with women, it can take you down that slippery slope of sex trafficking and abuse because your mind ain't all the way there, but you a body.
So I will tell you that I can't tell you who, but somebody we were close with, and she said that at 10, she was like 11, 12, she was like 5'9", 5'10", and was fully developed. Fully developed. And so she looked it, and the neighborhood passed her around. Like the older guys would, and it's like this predatoriness of us to us.
Exploitation,
right. With no one there to protect you. And it's hard being around somebody all the time because you never know what happens when they leave the house.
Yeah.
I think part of it for me is protecting the children. And because developmentally disabled adults oftentimes are developmentally, cognitively delayed young people. And so we got to put mental health services back at the forefront of the revolution. And maybe that's like another, I know we got a lot of pillars we got to address, but I think that one is pivotal.
Man, I think you might be a bit right. And then you add to that the drugs.
Yep. The internet.
The nets, the exposure, the constant, right? Like the sex, like all of it. And it's just all compounded. And if you don't have the capabilities to sort it out, or it all becomes a toxic mix, it then springs out to what we got. That was a lot. That was a lot to get from slavery to where we are. And I still maintain that Bobby Paul Edwards, he still need to, there does not seem to be any I know that we got to deal with us, but there seems to be no consequence for that. Like, he should be, if I was writing a movie, he'd be a slave in jail for 10 years. And we'd let him out because he'd come out with his hair braided, lips, Kool-Aid, lipstick, tube socks.
I want to know how this J&J cafeteria doing, how this restaurant doing.
It's not, well, South Carolina, I'm feeling like it should be, I'm surprised they didn't have a grease fire. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, they should have a grease fire. Like, and I don't care about, and the rest of the family knew. You know what this made me think of, too? Remember Color Purple?
Yes.
When old girl sassed old girl, and then we never saw Oprah Winfrey, and then she got busted in the head, and they took her away for like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. Like could white people just put you under arrest and take you away from your family?
Now hold on, that was a different type of example. I get where you was going with that, but you know,
I'm just saying they took her away.
They took her because she said hell no.
Right, but that's my point. Like I'm saying, even her with resistance was taken away, and the white folks they didn't put her in jail.
They looked after her children.
No, they did put her in jail.
Oh, they put her in. I thought they took her to go work at the house.
They put that was Miss Sealy, right?
No, it wasn't Miss Sealy. It was Oprah.
They put her in jail.
Yeah,
and she had a.
She might have had a work release thing where
because jail was part of how
white people could do anything they want.
Right. They basically put you in jail so that then they can rent you out as a slave.
Yeah.
You know, another challenge I think with mental health services is capitalism. I know. It's because everything is profit motivated and profit driven.
I can see that.
And I understand, like I get like the privatization of some things, but when we privatize everything, then it becomes profit. And so it's very, very, it's a slippery slope between like the efficiency of privatization.
It's funny that you say that because I think about that and then I think about the government employees too. Like there has to be a balance because I often think of the people who be like, I ain't doing that. Like I know I'm getting a check. So I look at like a government facility. Remember when Mantino was like?
I got
do you remember Mantino? Mantino. I went there one time to visit a friend of a family, and I was traumatized. Like I felt like I was in a crazy house. It was like white walls with like people scratching and all type of stuff, and it's like, I want to go. I want to go home. And the institute, it almost felt like a prison for mental health as compared to, and I
bet they would say that they are there for their own safety.
I got you. But again, where does the compassion come into this space, right? So
but Ruthie, I think Ruthie mentioned it. It's not just their safety, but
safety of society.
Well, most of us we're not capable of taking care of that person at home. It's just not going to work. It's not going to happen. I remember my Miss Kennard, who worked for me when I was a state rep. Miss Kennard probably was like, I don't know, 50. And her mother and her father both had dementia. And she said it was impossible to control her father. If he got up one day and said, I'm going to walk over to Kaminsky Park, and she lived like in 68, she couldn't stop him. I mean, he had, like I say, man strength. So it's really difficult, I'm sure.
Well, so when we think of like youth mental health services, like that's important. And one thing that I noticed, and I'm not going to say the name of the place, but one of the stops before I noticed that a lot of young people got into the JTDC, the Juvenile Detention Center, some of them had spent time at some of these residential behavioral health treatment facilities that are privatized, money driven. And so that's all I wanted to just make the connection between some of the youth mental health services that are prevalent in the city, some of these private organizations, and how that is a stop before young people end up in the juvenile justice system here in Cook County. So there's a connection.
Yeah, I feel like that process is part of the pipeline.
Yep. Let's get the money from the private mental health services so we can say, well, we tried to intervene before we have to actually book this young person.
And it's funny because I think people think of social services as socialistic, but they're all profit driven.
They're
all they don't. And when I say profit driven,
they're underwritten too, though.
What you mean
in
by
some
that?
cases.
What
I
you
mean,
mean by
a lot of them.
That means that the government is going to give them a certain amount of support.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. But there's still, that's why they base their support though on those numbers. So like when you look at their reports, they're like, okay, we can bill for this, we can bill for the residents, we can bill for their clothing, we can bill for mental health services,
and don't let them be on meds.
Right.
These people making bank off of these young people. Bank. Medical services are expensive. When you start looking at the line items per child that some of these private places get just to have our kids as a pipeline into the juvenile justice center, it should be criminal, y'all.
They fight to get those kids too. And quite frankly, there is a profit center built off of even the most risky kids, right? You get more money for taking those kids, and the more challenges you get, then you get to bill for more stuff. And so it's not about healing the kid. It's about how much is each one of these kids going to extrapolate, which is essentially, again, like the slave stuff. It's really interesting.
But I think part of the problem is, even with that, they probably aren't getting enough money to really do a good job.
But so I got you on that, but let me help you. But then you have to say, is it a business or is it a hobby, right? And so at the point in which whether they're getting
I was
enough,
looking at more like, is the government taking enough responsibility?
of course you would, but until they do, right? Until they do, we have to deal with the world that we live in. And is it a business or is it a hobby? So now you're saying the government provides us less, but I still got to make the bottom line. I still got to pay my salaries. So how do I do that? I make cuts. I minimize, I find efficiencies, quote unquote.
I think it's like having, I'm on the board of a small safety net hospital. And in the end, Medicare is cool, but Medicaid doesn't pay the bill.
Okay.
It just isn't enough money.
And that then goes to the whole point of what Tu said, which is, okay, so we can get the check, get rid of the boy, he got a place to live. That, you know what, Ruthie, you know how if I was thinking about this, if I was, what's his name? Bobby Paul Edwards, I would say I have an independent living facility with a job training program, and that's what he was in. That's how you could really, he lived independently in a roach-infested room, but he was living independently. When you described it, I just thought about the words they could use to submit it on paperwork and get federal funding to do it. So I got an independent, so I'm going to charge you rent because it's an independent living facility, right? You got employment, you got them job training, so you gave them a basic job skill. And so if you were to read this story without the slavery component to it, you'd be like, this was a success story.
Yep. He was independent.
He was an independent living. He had gotten away from his family, got a job, was taking care of himself. He even had a savings account where he was putting his money up. See how that, If I was writing the crisis communications for them right there, that's how I do it. I'd be like, we tried to create an independent living community. Maybe we failed on some aspects of it, right? And maybe now what we need to do is do a little bit more training of our foster parents or blah, blah, blah. But all in all, this was a good program that just went a little bit awry. And I would say that you know what I would be curious to watch, to pay attention to now? How many other people are doing this under that same guise? Right? Like, how many, because when he said the parents knew, I was like, how could the parents know? But again, you don't want to know. Like, in some things, maybe they didn't want to know. And, man, Joe, so now you got to start asking yourself, how many times has this happened?
I want to know what's going to happen when he get this settlement. Is that going to the family too?
Well, from what I know of this kind of stuff, what will happen is they'll have. Yes.
It said he went to an adult living facility.
So them people gonna take
which
advantage.
Which means they ain't gonna probably get the money.
Right.
Well, hopefully, what will happen is the court will appoint a guardian for him, and the guardian
is gonna get the money.
No, the guardian will become like the trustee. Hopefully, they'll put something together where it's like a trust fund. The guardian will help facilitate how the money is spent.
So you just got to get to the
guardian. They are a lawyer, so they more than likely will get something.
So the lawyer gonna get the money.
You gotta get to the guardian because if it's me, if I'm the guardian, and healthcare facilities say, wait a minute, look, bro, we could do 250 here.
No, these people are professionals.
And on that note, we'll take a break. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man, Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
motivated by the days, the sandwiches of spam. Grilled cheese won't stop me from grilling those who are stealing the peace and safety of the community because they releasing death and destruction on the community. A community where the people look like me and them. A place where mom and them stay. Not too far from where their children stay. You right. I want a peaceful neighborhood, and I'm not moving to the suburbs to have a peaceful neighborhood. Do we really have to take this, acting like we don't recognize this, still cooperate with this? You know what? The hell with this. Ram me behind a mic that's shaped like a middle finger, pointing straight up with my middle finger to any poor politician, dealer, deaf, crooked cop, or lazy parent. It's apparent to create change, you have to have a work ethic that make it seem like you lost your brain, standing out like the Willis Tower. It's a brother that represents dedication, discipline, and dream reaching, accompanied by a voice called power. Who rhyming harder than a rebel with the pen? Representing the city of Point Guards is an extra large MC who rhymes always on point, always rhyming with a point behind the flow. One of my students said the rhyme so hard we should stop calling it flow. Let me tell you something else before I go. I was born to stand tall. I was born in Chicago.
That is Brother William Morris. Appreciate you, brother. Much love. Chicago homegrown. Every Tuesday and Thursday from 1
to 3 p.m. on
What's in It for the Black People Media.
If I tell them to blow, I keep that metal close. That's how we ride in Chicago.
Alderman Lopez, welcome back to the Maze Jackson Show. The mayor has a very peculiar way she's dealing with this, and I'm trying to understand why does it seem like we're handling this with kid gloves.
The reason that she's not going after the root cause, which is gangs, the reason she's not calling out the silent enablers, as I tweeted out the other day, is because those are many of the same people that she relied on to get elected. I'm talking about the not-for-profits, those that reach out for grants and try to be the intermediaries in a community to try and bridge some of these anti-violence groups, things of that nature. These organizations that say they're trying to build bridges oftentimes are the ones that are enabling the gang lifestyle and allowing it to go unchecked and not holding accountable the individuals causing the violence in the neighborhoods. Those same partners, which she funds, which she relies on, were unceremoniously all pimping themselves out at a press conference. Saying nobody said a word about gangs, but what they did say is that we need more money for the programs that we offer to help stop the violence. And clearly, for more money to go to organizations that are working against the residents of the city of Chicago.
Alderman, how did y'all approve $37 million to go to one ward for violence prevention? $37 million? I don't think there's been a $37 million investment in anything black.
When these amendments to the budget and when these programs come before us, and I've asked the last time that these were proposed by the administration, what metrics are we using to ensure that everyone with their hand out was not still enabling gangbangers in the middle of the night? And oftentimes have intervened on behalf of gangbangers, particularly in the Latino community. When you see in other communities, like the black community, when you start doling out contracts to, say, Metropolitan Family Services, and now they're responsible for doling out to organizations to come into neighborhoods like, for example, West Englewood, contract out to organizations that have no connection to a community, build no bridges to a neighborhood, but get $300,000 to stop violence.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard.
What are y'all takes on blended families?
Meaning white people? Or what?
No, she mean like you got kids, this person got kids, y'all get together and bring the whole family together. I don't know. I have zero experience with it. I imagine it could be challenging. Especially, I think the older the children are, I think the more challenging it could be. I think if it's little children or something, you can kind of explain it to them, and they may like grow up together and kind of in that same space where this is mom, this is dad type thing. But if you talk about older kids where they literally have a mom or dad, another person like that has been in their lives, or when they're older, and you're like, oh no, this is your step brother, step sister. Like, no, we like 17. Like, I'll bone her.
And if this family don't work, you can just give me to the game anyway. Ain't gonna matter. No woman will ever be important. I'm not being an ass. I'm serious. In my mind, the value of that kind of a commitment is family. I got that already. So now we just chilling. So you ain't gonna really know my children.
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard live on What's in It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
WISTVPN.
I know different light. New day, same fight. How it comes, how it goes. One's on top, one's that know. But they forgot, they forgot, they forgot. And you bury a seed to grow. I know it. I know it. I know we will overcome. A rose is a rose is a rose. Is a rose is a rose is a rose.
It's a rose, it's a rose, rose. Flower in the ground and growing, growing. It's a rose, it's a rose.
How it comes, how it goes. Different names, still a rose. We grew up, we grew tall. We knew then, we know now. What they forgot, they forgot. When you bury a seed, it grows. I know it. I know it. I know we will overcome. A rose is a rose is a rose.
Rose. It's a rose.
It's a rose is a rose is a rose is a rose is a rose.
It's a rose, it's a rose, rose.
Is a
Flower in the ground and growing, growing. It's a rose, it's a rose. A love song, play this when you love song. Your love song, drowning when you jump on, yeah. Dying to come see what you do to me. A love song, play this when you love song. Amazing, yeah. Front and the back looking crazy. I know that you're thinking what I'm thinking. Why you look this good, baby? All to myself, I'm selfish. Round you, I can't help it. You ain't no one else's. You ain't no one else's, yeah. Wondering how did you get here? Taking me for a ride. You came in so unexpected. You make me feel like a love song. Play this when you love song. Your love song, drowning when you jump on, yeah. Dying to come see what you do to me. A love song, play this when you love song. Amazing, yeah. Girl, you so fun, I would pay it. Killing them selfies, she's slaying. All in my head, it keep playing, yeah. Keeping this real, no faking, fake. She wants something solid, yeah. If I'm being honest, girl, I think we got it. Oh, wondering how did you get here? Taking me for a ride. You came in so unexpected. You make me feel
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that.
Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up the seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Up Chicago, Wiggle World. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Ruthie Mo, Sonia Escobar. Yeah, we got a little less than an hour to go. 51 minutes to be exact. And we have not talked about the news of the day. The news of the day, in case you were living under a rock. Oh, before I do that, let me go to the live line because I got a phone call. Janice, you on the Maze Jackson Show. How you doing? Caller? Janice.
Good morning.
Caller, did we lose you? She on hold. She still there? Janice, we hear you. I heard you. I heard the click. All right. Janice. Hello? You on the Maze Jackson Show. All right, you can
Hello?
keep. Hello?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello. Good morning. How are you?
Hello, are you talking to me?
Yes, we're talking. I'm talking to
Hi,
you.
Maze. I just want to say thank you for bringing up the point about the child or adult. Because I don't know, you might want to look it up. His name is Donald Lane. He's from Chicago. And they did this, and the Chicago Public Schools didn't treat him right. So he went, and he was working over at the farmer's market, and one of the men took him to see a lady of the evening. And after that, they tried to say he had killed all those people. But a lot of people didn't believe it. He spent a long time in jail. And I want to tell Todd, thanks for going to Robbins. I grew up there, and it wasn't a bad place. It's just the blacks who had power didn't use it properly. I think you were trained well by your father not to be greedy for money. And that's all I wanted to say. And look at Markham. Markham is doing very well under that new mayor they have. It's always clean. They put Homewood to shame.
Mayor Roger Agpawa, who, I was supposed to have him on.
Yeah, I can't pronounce his last name.
It's Agpawa, and I think I messed up.
He had some sort of conviction, and they didn't want to have him be mayor. And the first thing he did when they came in there, they cleaned up that U-Haul place. You remember that? Mm-hmm. And that made national news. They were storing stolen stuff in there. So the south suburbs may come back. And I don't like when sometimes people say everybody moved. out here too. So there's a lot of blacks living out here in the south suburbs too. And when the blacks moved to Homewood, Flossmoor, Calumet City and everything, that's when Oak Forest closed. And Todd, I want to say this to you. Your father did try to keep that open.
Oh, yeah.
And so did you. With no help. And see, they think because we don't have degrees, we don't know what's going on. That's not the case. And Maze, I'm sorry to tell you this. I don't know a lot about computers. I've been trying to get your shows when you're not on the radio because I've moved over to your station. And I want to know, can I just go in and type in the Maze Jackson show? When I did that, all I got was music.
No,
you know,
wait.
You up there.
Where are you looking, on YouTube or Facebook?
Oh, I wasn't on either one of them. I just typed it in the computer.
So go to YouTube. You got to go on YouTube, and you can watch us on YouTube every day. Maze Jackson. Okay. You just type in Maze Jackson Chicago, and it will pop up.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Maze Jackson Chicago on YouTube.
Yep,
okay.
on YouTube.
And let me ask you, is that even on the weekends? If I want to listen to you on the weekend?
I'm not live on the weekend, but you can. You can listen to all the shows on the weekend. If you go to that if you look up Maze Jackson Chicago on YouTube, you can see all of the shows for everybody all week. They're all there for all the time, and you can replay them and all of that. Okay. She doing it right now. All right, you hold on. You let us know if you got it. And in the meantime, we're gonna jump on because I want to talk about the end of CPS as we know it. Dr. Janice Jackson announced yesterday that she will be leaving CPS. She will not be renewing her contract. So let me just say that, first of all, I am heartbroken. I do take some. I think we helped the good Reverend Dr. Forrest We Shall Overcome Claypool off the cliff. And by the time we helped him off the cliff, we were excited to know that Dr. Janice Jackson would ascend to the spot, because for the first time in many years, an educator was leading CPS, but not just an educator, one of our own. And I think the thing about Janice Jackson was, as for black people, right? Black people who get black people in Chicago, you knew she was from Chicago. You knew that she understood. You knew that she got it. Maybe I'm incorrect, but that was my feeling. And I felt like Dr. Janice Jackson, I can't necessarily tell you that Dr. Janice Jackson made the biggest direct impact. I can't tell you, I can't go through a list of accomplishments. That's not me. But what I can tell you is at a time of tumult when nobody trusted CPS, when the rats was in the schools, when they were rebuilding schools and tearing down our schools with no concern for the black folks at all, when we had just saw 3 days after she came into office, the betrayed sex scandal was the story. 2 CPS strikes, all of the fights, the pandemic. And can I tell you the one thing that I felt about Dr. Jackson in all of these conversations and all the parties and all the players and all the power dynamics that were occurring? Dr. Jackson, in my mind, always cared about our children. I feel like I used to try and engage her in political stuff or get all into and it would always be like, look, Maze, I know what you do. I'm not tripping on you on your job. You got a great platform, but I care about these kids. That's what I care about. And whether it's Mayor Emanuel, Mayor Lightfoot, Rahm Emanuel gave me the chance to do what my dream was. And while I'm here, I'm going to do it. And I would tell you, I feel like Rahm kind of got out of her way because he realized that she was an asset in a time when he had no credibility in the black community at all. None. Quite frankly, she outlasted him. Right?
Good point.
She did. He said, I ain't running again. She was like, I'm still going to be the CEO. And when Mayor Lori Lightfoot came in, she kept Eddie Johnson and she kept Janice Jackson, Dr. Janice Jackson. Dr. Janice Jackson walked out on her own terms.
Walked out. She strolled out.
Woo! Yes, she did. And I bet she had some red bottoms on while she was doing it. Shout out, the hair was laid. She was like, I'm picking my outfit out for this. I am, Dr. Jackson got that widow's peak in the front, right? She do. When she got that part, and then it be like in the front, and but it was laid yesterday. She was walking around like free as a bird. Free as a bird. And it was beautiful to see her be able to stroll. I feel like she always carried herself with grace and dignity. And it's funny because they talked about her leaving, and she was like, they was like, what about all the contention and all the stuff? And she said, you can correct me if I'm wrong, check the tape. But you've never heard me say anything nasty about anybody. You've never heard me say anything bad about anybody because I cared about the kids. Now, I gotta say, for Mayor Lori Lightfoot, I think this was the last bit of black credibility she had. I told you yesterday, I don't know anybody in the administration at this point. And Todd, we talked about this yesterday, that it is now a point where people are saying no thank you to the mayor. Y'all laughing, but realistically, I was having a conversation with a top political legal mind. And he was talking to me about you, coincidentally. But he said that there was a moment when he knew that the time was up. Like there was no way we were digging our way out of this hole. And so he recommended to people with a future to depart. Right? Now, it's crazy. Well, first of all, I think it's crazy that you say that out loud. But that's all.
But no, there was truth in it. I mean, I saw the whole thing coming myself, to be honest with you. I just wasn't going to tell people. I can see this rock about to hit me in the head. But people, after the administration was over and people went out, people were literally like, you worked for Todd Stroger? No, sorry, we can't help. Can't hire you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They went and found people. And so I was thinking about this. I was thinking about the level of disdain that people are developing for the mayor, right? The people that are Chicago stalwarts that are going to be here in 3 years. And the concept of implementing the mayor's tools, her ideas, probably is not very appealing to anyone locally because
I think it's the uncertainty. What ideas? What appeal? It's like, stay on the train with me and we're going to get it back on the tracks. And I think people are like,
And Dr. Jackson said that she had the opportunity to resign. The mayor was like, I want to let y'all know. Because let me just say this. If the mayor would have said, she was like, and get out, we'd have been, people been outside talking crazy.
Right, because
and the man and Janet Jackson's girls would have came up.
She's not quitting. She's just not re-upping. She's not signing another contract.
Right. She says she's not. She says she's gonna work till June 30th.
I'm good.
Right. I'm good. I'm good. Right. Here, take this. We'll give you a right. I'm good.
Thank you. I'm good.
No, thank you. And now I think what you got to look at is, where does this leave CPS?
Uncertainty. The same uncertainty that Dr. Jackson likely was unwilling to put on her back.
So
is there somebody in the pipeline that moves up?
Well, let's back up because here we go. Here's what Dr. Jackson also did. She took the top 3 spots with her.
Where they going?
One is going to Virginia. One said, I'm out.
I'm just leaving.
I'm gone. Yeah, I ain't got to tell you nothing. So now there is a drain of brain power at City Hall. Now, I'll tell you, the mayor says that there was no drain of brain power
I say that too.
at City. But you'll be lying. You would be lying.
You mean you be lying too?
And then they asked the mayor about the elected school board, because I think that what's happening now is the blood is officially in the water, right? And with the blood, let me back up. The blood is officially in the water, but let's go back. Let's talk about the mayor. When they asked the mayor about was there a void in leadership. Hold on, give me a second. I feel like, so yesterday during the press conference, we had the opportunity to hear the mayor respond. And you know the mayor is never going to just take it. She going to always be like, oh, I meant to do that.
Okay, so the mayor has a one-upping spirit. A person that's a one-upper always gotta get one up on you. And that's the mayor. Her leadership is a one-upping style.
I knew that already. You know, she
because sometimes you a one-upper, Maze.
No, I'm not. Am I a one-upper, Ruthie? Ruthie, no, I'm not. Don't be saying that. I'm not. But I'm going to let's hear from the mayor yesterday as we talk about, because Todd, what does it mean when your top person leaves and they take the top spots with them? Like they take their whole squad. Like I'm not leaving by myself.
The ship be sinking.
I'm taking everybody. Do you think they had a meeting and was like, I'm out. Tanya, you out. Arnie like, well, if you go and you go.
They was talking through text like, girl, I'm done.
Ooh, can we get, I wonder, can we FOIA? Well, the mayor said that she knew for months, but let's go to the audio of the mayor asking about the void of leadership in CPS.
This has been touched on, but I'm interested in your perspective. There is going to be, at least for a short time, a leadership vacuum within CPS. It was a tumultuous 7 years after Arnie Duncan left, and it was a very unstable 8 years prior to Dr. Jackson being named CEO. So what would you say to parents who might be concerned about a return to instability? And do you expect to have these new leaders in place by August 30th?
I don't expect there to be any instability. And I certainly don't agree with the premise of your question, which is that there's a leadership void. Both Dr. Jackson and I have now addressed it, but I'll say it again. Dr. Jackson and her team have built a very strong. Well, let me just finish.
Misunderstood. After they leave.
Yeah, well, I'm addressing what I think you're saying. After they leave, but before they left, Dr. Jackson and her team have built a very strong group of leaders across the system. This is the third largest school system in the country. Not one person can make everything work. It takes a massive team, and there is a massive team at all different levels. And yes, of course, Dr. Jackson leaves a void. Chief McDade leaving leaves a void. Arnie leaving leaves a void. But each of them heads up teams of really strong people who are ready to step up and lead as we make this transition. I'm very mindful of the number of CEOs that CPS has had over time. It's a big part of the calculation for me. I didn't know Dr. Jackson really at all before we met.
That's the bus.
After I was elected, we met during the transition and had a very fulsome conversation, which we have built on. But stability was very, very important to me. And stability is what we're going to get. We have started the search. We've retained a search firm. They're very strong former educators and superintendents themselves. We are going to be looking far and wide, both internally within CPS, but also across the country, to find a very strong leader that shares our vision and passion about public.
Hold on. Did she say we got to go find a national search? Let me back up. Let's play that again.
Very fulsome conversation, which we have built on, but stability was very, very important to me, and stability is what we're going to get. We have started the search. We've retained a search firm. They're very strong.
White people got that
former
contract.
educators and superintendents themselves. We are going to be looking far and wide, both internally within CPS, but also across the country, to find a very strong leader that shares our vision and passion about public education. Yes, there are big shoes to fill, but I don't think we're going to miss a beat, and I feel very enthusiastic about the opportunities that this transition provides to us as a system, but also us as a city.
So I want to point out that the last time she had this big pick, she made a speech just like that. You know, we got David Brown, right? When last time y'all seen dude?
Who?
Right. Exactly.
No, just playing. Todd, banter with us.
Hey, I'm bantering.
So I guess my question becomes, guys.
Brown's locked up in the basement.
Did you all realize that that the mayor still has not filled the chief safety officer position yet? No one's taken that job. She
I
also
forgot that
hasn't
was
filled
vacant.
the chief.
You talking about for
risk
CPS?
No, for the city.
Oh.
Like, what I'm saying is the mayor seems to have a...
Was that the Asian lady?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
But there's a gap. And here's what I'm telling you is happening, right? So remember when those tweets and we started seeing other people get involved? So Janice Jackson is leaving to go be at the Carnegie Foundation, where she'll be getting paid about $300,000 a year to be that.
Mm-hmm.
What that says to me, and I'm not speaking for her, this is my speculation, is that the rich people in play are now saying, start picking Lori's wings off, right? The rich people in play are like, don't burn your name up over there, but at the same, and we got you, right? We got you, so we're going to put you over here at this foundation, which foundations and fellowships and all those are tools in the toolbox of wealthy people to feed you when they don't really got a job for you.
And to inform policy.
Bam. Now,
Right.
think about, though, the mayor not having a public safety chief, a chief risk management officer, and now on a nationwide search to reopen Chicago public schools. I think that this is the beginning of the setup of the setup for failure, right? So you drain all of the spots. You drain all of the places and the resources and the tools that you have. Now, if you're a new superintendent, you're going to start calling, you're going to ask the political climate, and somebody's going to say, is she going to get reelected again? Because my job will not be safe if she's not. So do I take this tumultuous job for 2 years, knowing that I'm going straight to war with CTU? Straight to war.
It's always somebody that's going to take the job.
There's always somebody that's going to take the job, but what does it mean for our children? Right? Like, again, now we're going back to the business of education. I would tell you that Dr. Jackson's job, what she was so good at this, was assuaging our fears. I'm not going to say everything got solved, but you felt like the best, when they took, like, the sex scandal, if Forrest Claypool is running that, everybody's, you're done. You feel like Dr. Jackson is going to go get it.
100%.
I guess the question now becomes, who does the mayor get, and is a Chicagoan good enough? Now, I'm going to also tell you that there is a ton of, you heard her saying national. But I am telling you that this isn't coincidental. I'll tell you this isn't coincidental because it also coincides with the Senate president saying that he was for an elected school board. Right? Which, if I'm Janice Jackson, Dr. Janice Jackson, I don't even want to be around for that. Because and remember the CTU now, because this now becomes a multi-million-dollar premise. Because now you're battling for billions of dollars. So every one of those elections, every one of those school board elections has the weight. It'll be more important to win the school board election than the state rep election.
Ooh.
Think about that. Think about the money that's in that race.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So now what you've now opened is the now special interests are moving into this. Janice Jackson is like, plus the mayor be meddling. Like, no, real talk. The rumor mill, trafficking in rumor and innuendo, said that we wouldn't have had a teacher strike as long as if the mayor wouldn't be talking loud and doing the opposite. Right? See, I don't think that Jesse Sharkey in a one-on-one wins with Janice Jackson. Not in the court of public opinion. He doesn't.
Probably not.
And as much as I love Stacey as well, she don't beat Janice Jackson in the court of public opinion because Janice Jackson always has the kids first, not the union. The mayor, though, with her bluster and instead of getting out of the way and letting Janice Jackson be, she want to be in everything.
She makes the CTU look better.
She made the CTU be the champions when people care about the kids.
Right.
You like, I don't want none of that. Now, it's not lost on me that Springfield and the Senate president says this same week that Janice Jackson is leaving, that there's going to be an elected school board. Now, the funny part of this is, and he told them to get in the room to compromise, and it's interesting to watch the mayor spin it because he said, you need to compromise on how long it's going to take for you to get to an elected school board, right? She said, let me tell you why the mayor says that she has pushback on the elected school board. And you all need to listen very carefully. Listen very carefully. Listen very carefully.
So I embrace the thrust of President Harmon's statement.
Hold on, let me bring it back. Let me take it back just a little bit. Give me just a little bit so you can hear the question. All right, let's go.
Is that something?
Oh, no. The ads popped in. I'm sorry, y'all.
That's why you wanted to have separate press conferences.
I'm going to tell you what's funny, though, is that, did you turn it down? Beautiful. What's funny, though, is that the mayor, you couldn't find this press conference on her page. You know, the mayor goes live for everything.
What?
I could not find anything. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Oh, Lord. They done.
Really making you.
Oh, they done.
Right?
No, they done switched my.
Call in and let us know how you feel.
Yeah, call in and let us know how you feel about Dr. Janice Jackson, though.
I'll give the number. The number is 872-259-7474.
872-259-7474. Now, I want to get you back to, hold on.
That Q&A?
Yes, because the 51. Yep, because they asked the mayor a question about the elected school board, and I thought it was important because this sparked a tremendous amount of controversy on social media for me because I called it out.
Related to the connection.
Related to what the mayor's sticking points were on an elected school board. Okay. All right, Sonia, you can bring my volume back.
For us to kind of return back to normal, and we're going to be thinking creatively with our business community to make sure that we're incentivizing people, particularly young people, to get the vaccine. Go ahead, Sarah.
Here we go.
I wanted to ask about Senator Harmon saying that he wanted to see a compromise on the elected/hybrid school board, and he wanted to end in eventually a fully elected school board in Chicago. And I wanted to know your reaction to that. Is that something that you're willing to compromise on?
Well, I share the value that we need to sit down and negotiate. And we've been talking to Senator Harmon and his team, as well as Speaker Welch and his team for months now about just that. So I embrace the thrust of President Harmon's statement, which is that we need to sit down and reach a compromise. My values on this are very, very clear. Number one, parent voices have to have a seat at the table. Number two, we cannot and I will not agree to anything that disenfranchises any part of our residents, including undocumented individuals. That's And we've got to also make sure that we're structuring anything that disenfranchises any part of our residents, including undocumented individuals. That's a non.
So I need to point out to you, the mayor says that so one of the sticking points in Springfield is that undocumented immigrants should not be able to vote in the school board elections. Now I need for y'all to understand this. Now I want to make this correlate. We saw last week the Office of New Americans, right? And they talked about all the resources and all the things that they were putting in the schools that were only available to undocumented immigrants. If you were a U.S. citizen, you couldn't even apply for it. You can't apply to get a computer. You can't apply for extra services. We also saw that they said that they were going to cut the red tape for undocumented to participate. Now, I need for you all to understand the progression here, because this is how these things work, and we are going. I'm telling you, we're about to get jammed against the wall, and you're going to wind up finding yourself supporting your demise by supporting the right for undocumented immigrants to vote. If the Senate, hear me out, if the Illinois General Assembly mandates that we have an elected school board in 2, 3, or 4 years or 10 years, and I need for y'all to understand this, because people are talking about voting, they can vote in the local school council. The local school council is the specific school, period. That's just only the school, the teachers, and the people that are there. I don't really have a problem with that. But if you make the elected school board a elected position that then participates in the municipal elections, then you are now voting in the municipal elections. Am I making sense here?
You saying give them an inch, it'll be a mile.
You give them an inch and it will literally be a mile. Bring it back now.
So I embrace the thrust of President Harmon's statement, which is that we need to sit
Listen
down
to what
and
she
reach,
will not
compromise. My values on this are very, very clear. Number one, parent voices have to have a seat at the table. Number two, we cannot and I will not agree to anything that disenfranchises any part of our residents, including undocumented individuals. That's a non-starter.
So now, let me just be clear. The elected school board would be in your municipal election. The same time you vote for alderman, mayor, city council, city clerk, city treasurer, Chicago school board. Now, in this premise, you're going to say that that undocumented immigrants can vote for for the school board because they have children in those schools, right? Does that follow like the argument? That's the argument.
That sounds like the argument to me.
Now, how do you make the argument that if they can vote in one municipal election but not the other on the same ballot? Now what you're going to get into is we're being discriminated against because of our ethnicity or our status. So now what happens is the vote for mayor shifts, right? Your population and your power shift because where are the more people? Or she's already written you off. And now as Janice Jackson walks out the door, right? Now let me knock your socks all the way back. What happens if it's a Latino superintendent? Which you can justify by saying that they are the majority of and it's their turn. So now I'm asking yourselves as we sit down the slippery slope, who has the courage to say no vote for the undocumented immigrant on our school? Nobody's going to have that courage. They're not going to have the courage. And so what essentially will happen is, in that, now what you also need to do is listen to Alderman Gilbert Villegas's debate yesterday or candidate forum and listen to the clerk as she talks about how they just printed these city key cards as IDs on a whim. Now, again, hear me out. You now are allowing undocumented immigrants to vote in a municipal election, but let's just say they can only vote for the school board. They then claim discrimination. You've already allowed it. So what's the difference between, and there are already municipal elections that people are like, that's fine what the law say. You just read in the Office of New Americans that this is part of the plan. That part of their process is to make the immigrants the face of Chicago. It's literally in print, and and I'm telling you, they're going to. Can you imagine the gravity of yesterday Latinos being upset with us for just saying we want the same thing y'all get? Y'all are causing division between us. Jamal, you on the Maze Jackson show? What's up, man? I'm out. Y'all done lost.
Good morning, Maze. How are you?
I'm not good, Jamal. How are you?
Okay, I'm listening to your comments about Her Highness, the mayor over there, making her comments about the undocumented and the parents need to be involved in an elected school board. And Her Highness, the mayor, is a lawyer. And she should know that under U.S. law and the Constitution, it is illegal for non-citizens to vote in the first place.
In federal elections. Not municipal. This would be a municipal election.
So you're saying that it's not that she could technically get away with a municipal election?
Yes.
And do you think it would stand up in federal? I'm not sure it would stand up in federal court if someone challenged it.
It's already the law in Connecticut. It's already being done.
But okay, but I mean that I would hope that the legislature tells Her Highness you are having an elected school board, and you will not be putting illegals in there. Now, if you want to appoint an illegal, okay, appoint a parent, okay, but you are having an elected school board, period.
Thank you.
And these guys need to just ram it through and don't cave in to the illegals. And if they do, then somebody ought to file a lawsuit and test the legality of it, because I think with the current makeup of the federal courts, I could picture them striking that down.
Thank you, Jamal, because I was thinking that that needs to be a federal lawsuit, right? And here go one of them moments. Here go one of them moments. Y'all sounding kind of Trumpy, but I fundamentally, y'all, we died for the right to vote. They have literally put this as the most important thing. And now that we done been dead and John Lewis is through and they done used his grave and his march over the Edmund Pettus Bridge to death, now the right to vote don't mean nothing no more. It's not a right of citizenship. And I'm the racist for saying that. Huh?
You're not racist.
I know, I don't have the power to be racist, John. And can I just tell y'all, I just want to say this, and Ruthie, you would have been proud on social media. Because, we was talking about this, and John Katzenzara felt the need to
Your friend?
interject. I love it, because they was whooping his ass in social media. They was tearing him. I mean, I'm just telling you.
Do he like it?
I think he does. I think he just likes to get in the mix and be a contrarian. Because, why would you come on the page with all the black people and he be talking smack, and it's but I think people get their chance to say it to, hey man, yesterday it was going down on the page. It was cracking. They whooped him though. They whooped him. Oh, he got whooped. But my point in all of this, y'all, is it's happening. We showed you the Office of New Americans that is across the country. I told you about the city key 3 years ago. They was on TV bragging about it. They told you and sold you the city key based on ex-offenders can't get an ID. We jumped down the thing, and now they just printing machines right by the voting booth. Meanwhile, Negro still ain't got no license from coming home.
You talking about ex-offenders?
Now let me just I got to throw this in here. So if the person who has devised the city key gets in charge of the people who issue the real IDs, yeah, we stuck. I mean, just think about that. Like, if you have now gotten to a point where you say that the ID, the state ID, is no longer necessary in the state because we can print you up something else that work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we don't see this stuff.
I think we see it. The challenge is who is willing to say something. Because when you say something, it's like what you just said. Now I'm a racist. Now I don't believe in immigrants' rights.
I believe you should have the rights of an undocumented immigrant. You sneaking.
I feel like we really can't, okay, so I feel super in the right and super justified by being like, ain't nobody trying to take away what y'all got. We just want the same thing.
No, Ruthie, everybody is so used to pimping us that when we say you can't pimp us anymore, they be like, don't you know you the hoe?
Get back
on the stroke. Like, y'all need to go look at the shares from my page when we talked about this undocumented immigrant stuff. Not the black shares, but the Latino shares. And see this thread that's on there. And I was like, I'm being respectful, dog. Like, my people died for the right to vote. This was our land anyway, so that's on y'all. What?
Wait, what?
The undocumented. Like, I'm like,
what he means, or she means, is we colonized here first.
Right.
It wasn't their land.
Right. Exactly. But y'all.
Interesting. As a black person that, we had to really fight for voting rights. So it does feel a little bit, like, dang, trying to tell somebody else that they can't vote. But I'm with you though, Mace.
Ruthie.
I'm with you.
Okay.
The law's the law.
Ruthie, they gonna vote us out. Like, we died. We came on the boats. Like, underneath the boats,
I know. Chained. I know. This is tough. It's tough. It's tough because it just does it like to say, no, y'all can't vote. Like,
so I'm saying you can vote when you're a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't. No, I don't have. There's nothing wrong with me saying, no, you who I done blood, sweat, and teared on the land cannot come over here and then vote me out of my own joint.
Right.
Sorry. No. Yeah. No, y'all can't vote us out of Inglewood.
I mean, it's truly, really, if we thinking about just straight numbers, it's really a threat to our existence.
Hold on. Let me read my
Go
shirt.
ahead. Show the shirt. Show the shirt.
And give her a shout out, because
Nicole, shout out for making the shirts related to us.
Unified to neutralize external threats. Can I tell you that they are going to shame black elected officials into voting themselves out of power?
This is a tough one because I don't think many of the black elected officials will be willing to say what you're saying right now.
They're gonna vote. No black elect.
Woo! It's a tough one. It's the same way they can't.
What black elected official is coming? What black elected official?
Somebody gonna do it. Somebody gonna say it.
What black elected official is going to say that we should not allow undocumented immigrants to vote?
It depends on how much noise is made.
Somebody's going to say it because they're going to be able to say it in relation to the threat toward black people. You got to include the black people in saying it. You can't just say, oh, they can't vote. You got to say they can't vote because this related to black people.
Black people ain't going to say that out loud.
You just have a little hope, Maze.
I do. But I just think that it's politically incorrect. Like, right now,
it's the same as saying America is racist. That's why they don't say it, even though they know it. It's a political faux pas.
That's my point. And so let me tell you what I learned when I was looking at trying to decide whether I was going to take Krav Maga. People that are looking to do you harm utilize socially awkward situations to take advantage. It is a socially awkward situation for a black person, just as you talked about, to deny the right to vote to anyone considering. Yep. However, it's not anyone. We have asked for our rights as citizens to be treated as full citizens. They are not citizens. They have a path to citizenship, which I believe they should have. I'm okay with that. But like to just say that after we done got killed, then beat down and whooped on and all of that and fought to get this right of citizenship that makes you American, that people talk every time we talk about the died for the right to vote. And now y'all just think about how many people now in this space, immigrants are the new Negroes. And in the Democratic Party, who has pushed, the Office of New Americans was launched under President Barack Obama. I'm just saying. And so either nobody's read all this time, or nobody saw it as a threat, or nobody feels comfortable enough to say it. And I'm just going to say, in a place like Springfield, where you have colleagues where this issue can become, I mean, you got to think about Springfield is now dominated by Chewy's guys, right? They're pro-immigrant. There is now a Black Latino coalition in Springfield that brought the speaker. Now, somewhere in that space, it's going to be pay what you owe.
This would not pass in Springfield. Numbers aren't there.
Thank God for the Republicans. Thank God for the Republicans. And quite frankly, you can't say it's not there. You really?
Yeah, the downstaters wouldn't go for that either. So, even though you did tell me the
downstaters don't want to be racist right now. I'm just saying, the downstate, they call themselves the moderates now. But even those moderates are being encroached upon by Latino communities. So the white boys be like, yo, we got to kiss their butt. Look at Madigan. Look at Burke. Look at the right. Like, you think about all of these places where you're saying downstaters, and I'm not saying.
You probably know the downstate more than I do. But Madigan and Burke had to do it because they literally lived in Latino districts.
And I'm saying, so imagine if you're in a place like Champaign, right? Where people, where La Bambas.
Aren't they black now? I mean, the refs.
Yeah, but La Bambas, we'll talk about it. Anyway, my point is, who has the political... Think about this. We voted for the Office of New Americans. They voted for the Office of New Americans committee this year in City Council as part of the... separate from the budget. Separate. They voted for that this year. Nobody said, you get one, we get one. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for us. No for you.
No, I'm not going to say that.
Say it.
No.
Say it. Come on, Ruthie. What you got? Because I'm ready to close now. Y'all done tick me off.
Listen, we in trouble, boss.
Todd?
Boss, we in trouble.
Todd, you got anything?
We need to get our population numbers up.
Let me
Ruthie
tell you.
may be right. That's what I got to say.
It is what
Well,
it is.
I think we're off to a good start with trying to organize ourselves to vote.
Well, you know, it's funny, though, because I just thought it was so...
Ruthie hit it on the head right there. Organizing. If we don't want that to happen, then we need to organize, and make a statement about it where your elected officials actually have to pay attention.
So they can feel comfortable with saying that we don't need this because of this.
Yes. Well, I think we make enough noise, and then they say our constituents are on top of us. And then I think that we start... See, but I just tell you like this. We got to stop letting people feel comfortable that they get to talk on our business. No, I'm serious. Like the Latinos feeling like they can come to... I was like, I don't know what Negro y'all think, what Negroes y'all used to, but y'all, this ain't that over here. You don't just get to say whatever you want. Like, we're here.
They've been so accustomed to being able to do that because we haven't been unified in a way to neutralize those external threats. But now the time is here. So we can all just come together and decide, hey, y'all, this is a threat that we need to neutralize. We'll be straight.
I think Ruthie's right that this is something that people who fight will be like on the same page.
Let's fight. All right, y'all.
Oh, wait a minute. And tomorrow I should be wearing sea green.
And tomorrow you'll be wearing sea green. All right, as long as it's not pink. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show.
was
So for
fuchsia.
Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? If you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze says, stay tuned. She is back in the building. Back in the box. It is Dawn, the Book of Dawn. Dawn, is she Dawn Hendricks? Is she Dawn Millhouse? I don't know what it is, but I know the Book of Dawn is back in the building. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We out of here. Peace.